Welcome to Science Meets Adventure, exploring nature's secret, the channel where we follow the clues that nature and ancient civilizations have left behind. Today, we travel high into the Bolivian Andes to a windswept plateau near Lake Titicaca, where a mysterious city of stone has challenged archaeologists, engineers, and storytellers for generations. This is Tiwanaku, a pre-Columbian center of power and ceremony, famous for its perfectly cut stone blocks and the still-debated techniques used to shape them. Here, science, legend, and landscape collide. Our journey begins in the thin, crisp air of the Altiplano, nearly 4,000 meters above sea level. A drone glides over the plateau, revealing a vast open world framed by snow-capped peaks and distant volcanoes. Below, the earth is painted in muted browns, reds, and golds, interrupted only by green fields, grazing llamas, and small Aymara villages. To the north and east, the shimmering blue surface of Lake Titicaca stretches across the horizon, filling a tectonic basin between two Andean ranges. This high lake sits in a depression formed by the slow collision and uplift of the South American and Nazca plates, a process that raised the Altiplano and created a stage for cultures like Tiwanaku to flourish. Millions of years ago, this region was shaped by powerful geological forces. The Andes themselves were built as the oceanic Nazca plate slid beneath the South American plate, compressing and thickening the crust, lifting mountains and creating high-altitude basins. Over time, faults opened and shifted, allowing sections of crust to drop and form depressions that later filled with water, giving rise to ancestral lakes in what is now the Titicaca Basin. Volcanic eruptions spread ash and lava across the landscape, while glaciers advanced and retreated during the ice ages, carving valleys and leaving behind sediments that now support thin but resilient Andean soils. Today, the Altiplano remains a place of extremes: intense sun in the day, freezing temperatures at night, sudden storms, and powerful winds that sweep across the open land. Amid this dramatic setting, the ancient city of Tiwanaku rose as the spiritual and political heart of a powerful civilization between roughly 200 and 1100 CE. Located about 70 kilometers from La Paz and only a short distance from the southern shores of Lake Titicaca, Tiwanaku sat at an altitude of about 3,850 meters, making it one of the highest major urban centers ever built. At its peak, it may have housed tens of thousands of people and influenced vast areas of what is now Bolivia, Peru, Chile, and Argentina. Monumental platforms, sunken courts, pyramids, and megalithic blocks formed a ceremonial core surrounded by more modest adobe buildings and fields, engineered to handle the harsh Andean climate. As our camera descends from the sky toward the archaeological site, we begin to see the defining features of Tiwanaku's architecture. The Akapana pyramid, once a stepped, man-made hill with complex water channels, rises from the plain. Nearby stand the Kalasasaya platform and the famous Gate of the Sun, a single massive stone slab carved with intricate iconography. But to understand why Tiwanaku has captured so much imagination, we move toward a sector called Puma Punku, the Gate of the Puma. Here, scattered across the ground, lie enormous sandstone and andesite blocks, some weighing more than 100 tons, many of them carved with surprising precision. Surfaces are remarkably flat, edges are sharp, and some blocks feature interlocking H-shapes and right-angled grooves that look almost as if they were produced in a workshop with specialized tools. From a scientific perspective, these stones are not supernatural, but they are impressive. Andesite is a hard volcanic rock that resists weathering, while sandstone provides large, workable slabs. Ancient builders may have used bronze or copper alloy tools, stone hammers, abrasive sand, and a great deal of time and labor to shape each piece. Some modern researchers have proposed that certain elements might even be early forms of geopolymer, a kind of mineral concrete, rather than purely carved natural stone, though this interpretation remains debated and not universally accepted. What is clear is that the construction reflects an advanced understanding of materials, geometry, and structural stability. And yet, there are still open questions. How were such massive blocks transported from their quarries? How were they lifted and set with such apparent accuracy at high altitude, without wheels or draft animals like horses or oxen? These gaps in our knowledge are what people often describe as unresolved technology, not magic, but engineering details we have not fully reconstructed. The landscape around Tiwanaku is not static. Today, winds continue to erode exposed stones and adobe walls. Seasonal rains feed small streams that drain toward Lake Titicaca, while temperature changes cause rock surfaces to expand and contract, slowly softening crisp edges that were once sharper. The Altiplano's thin atmosphere lets in intense ultraviolet radiation, bleaching colors and stressing vegetation. Yet life persists. Hardy grasses and shrubs cling to the soil, and wild camelids browse in the distance. In this environment, the Tiwanaku people developed sophisticated raised field agriculture and irrigation systems, adjusting to periodic droughts and climate shifts that may have contributed to the civilization's eventual decline. Now imagine arriving here as a traveler. After driving from La Paz across open plains under a huge sky, you approach the modern town of Tiwanaku and the entrance to the Archaeological Park. The camera follows you as you walk along dusty paths toward the ruins, the air thin but surprisingly clear. With every step, the structures grow larger and more defined. You pass low stone walls, then climb gently onto the Kalasasaya platform, where you can stand near the Gate of the Sun and look out across the site, imagining rituals that once took place here. Next, you follow your guide toward Puma Punku, where the massive blocks lie arranged and scattered, some re-erected to suggest how the platform once looked. Close-up shots reveal tiny carved details, grooves, drill-like holes, and finely shaped angles that invite you to run your fingers along the stone and wonder how long it took to make each one. Beyond the core site, the broader region invites exploration. From Tiwanaku, you can continue toward Lake Titicaca, where cold, deep waters fill a high-altitude basin surrounded by terraced hills and rocky shorelines. If you enjoy trekking, you might hike gentle routes along the lake or across nearby ridges, accompanied by vistas of water, sky, and distant mountains. At night, if you choose to camp on the Altiplano, you'll experience one of its greatest gifts, a sky packed with stars. With little light pollution and dry, clear air, the Milky Way stretches overhead like a bright river of light. The temperature drops quickly after sunset, and you bundle up in layers, listening to the wind and perhaps the distant call of an Andean fox. The ecosystems around Tiwanaku have their own stories. The Altiplano supports Puna grasslands, home to llamas, alpacas, and wild vicuñas that have been essential to Andean cultures for fiber, meat, and transport. Near wetlands, and along the shores of Lake Titicaca, you may spot waterbirds, including ducks, grebes, and occasionally flamingos, feeding in shallow waters. Low-angle shots bring you close to hardy plants adapted to cold, dry conditions, cushion plants, spiky shrubs, and herbs that Aymara communities have used for generations in traditional medicine and daily life. Travel here is also a cultural encounter. In the town near the ruins, Aymara vendors sell woven textiles, carved stone replicas, and small figurines inspired by Tiwanaku iconography. If you visit during a local feast or solstice celebration, you might witness ceremonies that blend ancient Andean cosmology with contemporary life, offerings to Pachamama, the Earth Mother, or rituals that honor the sun and the mountains. UNESCO-supported projects have even used drones and modern surveying tools to better map and protect the site, while involving local communities in conservation and guiding. Between archaeological explanations and living tradition, you feel that Tiwanaku is not just a ruin. It is part of an ongoing story about identity, memory, and landscape in the Andes. Food provides yet another way to connect with this place. After a long day walking among stones and fields, you can sit down to a meal of quinoa soup, grilled trout from Lake Titicaca, or potatoes prepared in traditional ways, sometimes using ancient freeze-drying techniques that allowed people to store food long-term in this harsh climate. Warm tea made from local herbs helps you adjust to the altitude, and conversations with guides or hosts fill in details that no textbook can fully capture. As the video returns to a wide drone shot, we lift once more above Tiwanaku, watching the geometric lines of platforms and plazas slowly shrink into the patchwork of fields and villages. Behind them, mountains glow in the late afternoon light, and the vast plateau stretches toward the horizon. We have seen how tectonic forces, ancient lakes, and volcanic processes shaped this environment, how a high-altitude civilization rose here, carving and placing stones with skill that still inspires questions, and how today, travelers can walk the same ground, learning from both science and living culture. Thank you for joining this journey with Science Meets Adventure, exploring nature's secret. If Tiwanaku's mysterious stonework and epic Andean landscapes sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep exploring the hidden connections between Earth's natural forces and the civilizations that learn to live and build within them. Until next time, stay curious, stay adventurous, and keep seeking out the extraordinary stories written in stone, sky, and time.